Hello everyone, welcome to the session 5. Myself Jeevita TP, lecturer in Civil Engineering Department, LV Government Polytechnic, Hassan. So let's see the recap of the previous session, that was session 4. So in the session 4, we discussed regarding terms that are used in brick masonry, types of bonds in brick masonry, as well as study of English bond and Flemish bond and multiple choice questions. So in this particular session, we will be discussing garden walls, Dutch bond, facing bond, raking bond, zigzag bond, cavity wall, and the last slide will have the multiple choice question. So let's discuss about garden wall. So what is garden wall? So garden wall is nothing but garden wall or used for basically the name suggests the garden wall, and it is used for the construction of garden walls, compound walls, and boundary walls. And its thickness is 1 brick thick, and since the compound wall and the height does not exceed 2 meter, it is not so strong as English bond, but more attractive one. In garden walls also there are so many different types of garden wall bonds, like English garden wall, Flemish garden wall bond, and monk garden wall bond. So in this particular session we'll be discussing only two types of garden wall, that is English and Flemish garden wall bond. So let's have a discussion on English garden wall bond now. So before going to the explanation, come to this picture. Observe this picture. So English garden wall, in English garden wall bond, say since English bond means we know in English bond alternate header and stretcher are laid in each courses, right? Sorry, in each header courses and alternate header and stretcher courses are laid, right? So here you can observe this is the header courses, right? After header courses, there is 1 stretcher courses, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after 5 stretcher courses, 1 more header courses is laid. So that means English garden wall bond means, so header courses will be laid only after 3 to 5 stretcher courses. So English garden wall bond means header courses will be laid only after 3 to 5 stretcher courses. And also for the for breaking the joints and for necessary lap, we are providing, and in each header courses queen closure is provided at the coin header. So in each header courses, next to the header, queen closure is provided. And one more important thing that need to be concentrated is alternate stretcher courses. Okay, so here this is the, so after header courses we have placed the stretcher courses. So after stretcher courses, since this is the garden wall bond, we are placing the header course only after 5 courses of stretcher bond, 3 to 5 courses. So in this particular picture we have placed the 5 stretcher courses. So here you can observe alternate stretcher courses will have header at the coin places, okay. Okay, this is in this particular picture. Let's have a quick look again. So English garden wall bond means header courses will be laid only after 3 to 5 stretcher courses, and alternate stretcher courses will have a header at the coin. So the next type of garden wall bond is the Flemish garden wall bond. So we know what is Flemish bond. So Flemish bond means in each courses alternate header and stretcher will be placed in each courses. So similarly, Flemish garden wall bond means, just look into this picture. So here in the first course 3 stretchers have been placed. After 3 stretcher courses, 1 header stretcher courses has been placed. So that means in each courses both stretcher and header will come, but header courses will be placed in each course only after placing 3 stretchers. Okay, so headers will be placed in each courses only after placing 3 stretchers. Okay, then and also one more factor you need to be concentrated is, so alternate stretcher courses. So alternate courses will have coins at the corner, will have coin header. Same time, next to the coin header, 3/4 bats is provided, and next to the 3/4 bats, header is provided. So is that clear? So Flemish garden wall bond means in each courses, headers will be placed after 3 to 5, after placing 3 to 5 stretchers. Similarly, alternate courses will have header at the coin, and next to the header have 3/4 bats are provided, and next to the 3/4 bats, after coin header, one more header will be placed next to the 3/4 bats. Then again 3 stretches, 1 header, 3 stretches, 1 header, and again like I said, alternate courses will have header at the coin, and next to the coin header, 3/4 bat, and next to the 3/4 bat, header will be placed, and again the process goes on like 3 stretcher, 1 header, 3 stretcher, 1 header. Okay. Okay, the next type of bond is the Dutch bond. What is Dutch bond? It is the modified version of the English bond. So modification of the English bond. Just we'll have a look into the picture. So Dutch bond means what? See, both in each courses. See, like I said, it is the modified version of English bond. So it is the alternate header and stretchers will be placed. So in the first courses, I have placed the header courses, and in the next course I have placed the stretcher courses. But in the coin places, in each alternate stretcher courses will have 3/4 bats at the coin places, and next to the 3/4 bats, headers is placed, and again stretcher is placed. Okay, the same process continues. So Dutch bond means this is the modified version of the English bond, and alternate headers and stretchers are laid, and every stretcher course starts with the 3/4 bats as coin, and header is provided next to the 3/4 bats in stretcher courses. Okay. Okay, next is the raking bond. So what is raking bond? So in the raking bond, bricks are placed at an inclination. So bricks are placed at an inclination to the direction of the wall between external stretcher courses used near sides. So raking means bricks are placed at an inclination to the direction of the wall between external courses used near sides. So in raking bond means we understood that bricks will be placed at an inclination to the direction of wall. So again in raking also we have two types of bonds. One is diagonal bond and the other is the herringbone bond. So in diagonal bond, you can just observe this picture. So all stretcher courses have been laid in the sides and bottom and top. So bricks are arranged at 45-degree inclination. Bricks are arranged at 45-degree to stretcher courses that are provided near sides. And near sides, the triangular pieces have been utilized near the sides. Okay, next type of bond is the herringbone bond. What is herringbone bond? So it is a kind of it is one of the type of raking bond. So here the bricks are arranged at 45-degree in two opposite direction. In diagonal bond, the bricks were arranged in the single direction. That is, it was arranged only in the one direction. But herringbone bond, the bricks are arranged at 45-degree in, this is the center. So from the center, the bricks are arranged in two opposite directions from center of the wall. And usually, this kind of herringbone bond, they are utilized in kind of ornamental finishes of face work or brick flooring. Okay, the next type of bond is the zigzag bond. So a zigzag bond means it is it is like herringbone bond. It is laid in the zigzag manner. So if you observe this picture, you can see here the bricks have been laid in the zigzag pattern. That is why this bond is called as the zigzag bond. And even zigzag bond can be utilized in the ornamental panels or in brick flooring. In this particular slide, I have put all the three bonds at a time, so that we can compare each bond. So diagonal bond means these are placed in these are inclined at an at 45 degree to the direction of the wall, but only in one direction. Herringbone bond means from the center the bricks have been laid in two opposite directions. So zigzag bond means the bricks are laid in a zigzag manner. Okay, so initially the first triangular portions will be placed, and again like in similarly in a zigzag manner the bricks have been arranged. Okay, next we'll move on to the next topic, that is cavity wall. So the picture which you can see in this particular slide is the example of the cavity wall. So what is cavity wall? A cavity wall is the one with two separate walls. So cavity wall is the one with two separate walls called leader or skins with a gap in between them. So cavity wall means two separate walls called leaders or skins gap with a gap in between them. Okay. So the two leaves of a cavity wall may be of equal thickness. If it is a non-load bearing wall, then we can keep both leaves or both walls of equal thickness. So the internal leaf can be thicker. The internal leaf can be thicker than the external wall. Okay, so the internal leaf can be thicker than the external wall or external leaf. Okay, next is the construction of cavity wall. So coming to the construction of cavity wall, it consists of like I said in the definition of cavity wall only, it consists of two leaves, that is inner wall and outer, with a hollow space in between them. So the width of cavity varies from, so this whatever the hollow that we are placing, or whatever the gap that we are placing in between the two walls, width varies from 50 to 100 mm. So if it is of a brick wall, if it is a brick cavity wall, then each leaf is half brick thick. Okay, half brick thick means it is 10 centimeter wall. So for heavier load support, thickness of inner leaf can be increased in the multiple of half brick thickness. Instead of half, you can go for the 1.5 brick thickness. Okay, in this slide, we understood that cavity walls means two leaves will be there, inner and outer. So if it is a non-load bearing wall, both inner and outer leaves can be of equal thickness. And if it has to support heavier load means the inner wall can be increased in the multiple of half brick thickness. So coming to the continuation of construction of cavity wall, here since I said two leaves will be constructed in the cavity wall. So these two leaves, this outer and inner. So the outer and inner walls are connected by means of metal ties. You can observe here cavity wall ties here. So to connect the inner and outer wall, metal ties will be provided at certain horizontal and vertical spacing. So the metal ties will be placed at a horizontal distance of 900 millimeter. So metal ties are placed at a horizontal distance of 900 millimeter and at a vertical distance of 450 millimeter. And these arrangement of ties are staggered. Okay, coming to the construction of the continuation of cavity wall. So So the outer wall, that is half brick thick. Like I said, usually inner leaf will be increased if it has to support heavier loads. Means inner wall can be increased to the increased in multiples of half brick thickness. So the outer wall, that is half brick, okay, can be constructed in structure bond. Since it is of half brick thick and structure bond is suitable only for partition walls or half brick thick walls. The outer wall of cavity wall can be constructed in structure bond, and also even garden walls can also be utilized for the construction of outer wall of cavity wall. So the inner wall, that is one brick thick or more thickness from the inner wall, that is one brick and more thickness, is made of Flemish bond or English bond. Hope it's clear. So in the cavity wall, the outer wall, that is half brick thickness, is constructed in structure bond, and coming to the inner wall, comparatively it is thicker than the outer wall. Not necessarily it should be thicker, and if it has to support more load means, then in such cases we can go for the thicker walls comparatively compared to the outer wall. So the inner wall is made of either Flemish bond or English bond, or any other ordinary bond can be utilized for the inner wall construction. So coming to the advantages of the cavity wall. Let's see what are the advantages of the cavity wall. So the moisture, since the waterproof walls, these are the waterproof walls, because since there is a gap in between the outer and inner wall, the moisture cannot enter from outer wall to inner wall. Okay, that is one of the main advantage of the cavity wall. And the next advantage is the it provide good insulation against the sound. Same time it protection, I mean it gives protection against the efflorescence, and it proves economical during construction, and load on the foundation is also reduced, and they are cheap and economical. Okay, so now we'll have a multiple choice question. So bond is which bond is better in appearance than English bond? Which bond is better in appearance than English bond? This is double Flemish bond. So Flemish bond is expensive than English bond. Flemish bond is expensive than English bond. False, because since in Flemish bond we utilize various portions of brick, like bats will be used, and it is bats is used, half bat is used, and wing closure is used. Okay. Then what should be placed at the beginning of every header course? What should be placed at the beginning of every header course in English bond to avoid vertical joint? Queen closure. So the next question is, the bricks used for corners of walls. The bricks used for corners of walls of a structure are called coins. So which bond comprises of one course of a header to 3 to 5 courses of stretchers? Which bond comprises of one course of a header to 3 to 5 courses of stretchers? It is English garden wall bond. So in which bond a header is placed after 3 to 5 stretcher in all courses throughout length. It is Flemish garden wall bond. The next question is bond which consists of alternate courses of headers and stretchers is called English bond. So bond which consists of headers and stretchers in each course is called bond which consists of headers and stretchers in each course is called Flemish bond. So in herringbone bond, bricks are placed at 45-degree angle from bricks are placed at 45-degree angle from center line. Next question is a horizontal layer of brick is laid in mortar is known as a horizontal layer of brick laid in mortar is known as course. So hope you are at the end of the session. So let's meet in the next session. Thank you.